we should talk about who's going to win the Royal Rumble. We discussed it in our previous stream, but our previous stream was severely interrupted by glitches of all kinds. And now I think we're fixed. So we can just do a quick recap of what we did and then continue. Shout out to all the players that stuck with us throughout the struggles. We're here for you. And everything will be fixed for tomorrow. I pray to all the gods that everything for tomorrow will be good. Because yesterday we didn't go on at all because of technical problems. Tonight we had mad technical problems that screwed up a good chunk. And tomorrow I think everything will be fixed. Because now I think we're good, John. I haven't lost you at all. I'm talking to you and it's good.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
CSL Lauren with us. What's up, playa?
Holla, holla. Did it long.
Hey, we got a good old fashioned SmackDown tag team match going on right now, playa. It was Jacob Fatu in the ring doing a promo against Damian Priest. Jacob Fatu's from the streets. He's not scared to yell at you and be really angry and tell you how much he's from the streets. He's been locked up. And he got really into Damian Priest's face. He got all mad at Damian Priest. And then him and Tommy Tonga beat up Damian Priest. And then LA Knight made the save. And then they're like, tag team match, playa. And now the main event of SmackDown is a tag team match, playa. It's LA Knight and Damian Priest against Thomas Tonga and Jacob Fatu.
This is the last match for the Rumble. That's pretty weak. No offense to these guys, but this is not top-tier talent in the ring right now.
No.
He's at LA Knight.
At one time, maybe last year, but that has fallen off, sadly. He's fallen off. He's not there
he's
anymore.
not a jabroni. He's angry at the bloodline. He's got a purpose.
On SmackDown.
But it's not nothing.
It's a regional SmackDown only purpose. It's not a big picture WWE purpose. It's true.
It's funny. Last year, I think Dave had LA Knight as a favorite to win the Rumble. Now I think he's far from that.
Yeah. He's dropped off. Okay. So I painted a picture of Sami Zayn possibly winning with help from Kevin Owens, and Kevin Owens winning the WWE Championship, which I think is a good idea, quite frankly, because I think you want to elevate Sami and Kevin to the level of a Cody and Roman. You want to get as many people on that level as possible so you can have a bunch of big main events and you can make a ton of money. I think Kevin and Sami should be looked at the same level as a Cody and a Roman, should be kind of top of the card, and Sami winning the Rumble would do so much for his career. It would do so much for Sami Zayn to win the Royal Rumble, and Kevin to beat Cody at the Rumble and take the title would be so huge for him. So I think, there's a world where that makes a lot of sense. I don't know if it's the world that we live in, but I feel like Kevin, Sami, Cody, Cena, maybe in a four-way at WrestleMania could find itself into being. And then we have Roman versus Punk and Logan Paul versus Gunther for the world title. I think those matches could all happen. I think there are a lot of matches that could happen. John Cena winning the Rumble is a possibility. I think CM Punk winning the Rumble is a possibility. Because if CM Punk does not win the Rumble, he does not main event WrestleMania. Unless it's him and Roman on night one as the main event, just to kind of throw Punk a bone and be like, well, it's not a title match, but you're wrestling Roman and he's kind of the main guy and you really want to main event WrestleMania. It's your whole thing, so here you go. But it's not really the main event of WrestleMania because the real main event is night two. Night two, last match. But he could do night one with Roman. And Roman, he doesn't mind main eventing night one because he's still main eventing. And he's main evented night two so many times. Yeah. And he'll do it more times in the future. So it's whatever for him. He has a big match with Punk. He helps the old guy achieve his dreams, and there you go. It's possible.
And let's remember that Rey Mysterio, I think it was last week or maybe it was 2 weeks ago, said he main evented WrestleMania. I think it was WrestleMania, was it 22 or 23? I think 22. It was 22. And he did not main it. But he says he did, apparently. So, I guess if you're in a title match or big match, that's a main
That
event
match
of
was in the
WrestleMania
middle
now.
of the card.
Doesn't count.
It was a great match. It was like
I-
9 minutes. It was like super action packed. Kurt Angle, Randy Orton, and Ray. I mean, the main event was Cena Trips. I think like Vince or maybe Mickey James and Trish Stratus might have gone after Ray.
Maybe.
I think it was
Or
Vince
Undertaker,
and
Mark
Shawn,
Henry?
no?
Or Shawn and Vince, maybe.
Yeah.
Mm.
Yeah,
That was a big
sure.
match. That was a good match. Yeah, it's not.
So
Doesn't count.
I think my initial pick, though, of John Cena, the guy that I've been going with the whole time, is probably the best pick. I think Cena winning the Rumble makes a lot of sense. Cena Cody as a main event of WrestleMania makes a lot of sense. Cena Gunther as the main event of WrestleMania also makes sense. And I could see that going down. I'm not convinced that Cena picks Cody. I think it's the stronger move. It's the biggest match they could do. I think it's the way to go. I would go in that direction and do something else with Gunther. The only issue is, then I guess Roman and Punk. And what did you say, John? Roman, Punk, Cena, Cody, Gunther, and who?
And Seth. I mean, you could
Gunther
maybe
and
throw
Seth.
in Logan in a three-way too makes sense after that promo on Raw, maybe. But pretty much that idea. And I think it's going to be Cena and Punk at the end, no matter what at the Rumble. I think they're the final two.
Interesting.
Not Roman.
I think something's going to happen with Roman. He's going to get screwed over somehow. Something's going to happen with him.
Mm-hmm.
Solo, I think, is gonna have something to do with it.
Drew McIntyre, maybe?
There's so many things that are going to happen, I think, to him.
Yeah. Yeah, I think Punk and Cena at the end makes a lot of sense. And Cena winning seems like the move.
Punk could too, though. I could see it. Like, I'm going with Cena, but, I wouldn't be surprised. I had Punk last year and Cody won it, so it could happen.
Punk winning would be interesting if, that is the match. Punk and who at WrestleMania? Cody? Gunther?
I mean, they did the whole confrontation on Raw and all that, so I mean, it makes sense, right, to do Cody.
Yeah.
That's why I feel like he's not getting the title match. I feel like it has to be Roman because I feel like he doesn't really fit with the title picture right now. If it was Seth, it makes sense, but he's not the champion, so no, I just don't see Punk winning.
That confrontation with Cody was pretty good, but the one that he did tonight with Kevin Owens was even better.
You liked it, huh? Like I was a little disappointed by it. Like, I mean, I thought it was okay, but I expected much more from them actually.
I mean, it was pretty good. Kevin was firing. I mean, when he said, I like the 29 other guys in the Royal Rumble more than you, and he goes, and bear in mind, I don't even know who those guys are. I don't know who the other guys in the Rumble are, but I know I like them more than you. Like, that was just a great line. He says, talking about he loves the idea of Punk never main eventing WrestleMania and like dying alone, broken down, thinking about how Kevin Owens has main evented more WrestleManias than him, and he's just all sad. I mean, he just really got in Punk's face. I enjoyed that.
SmackDown is over.
SmackDown is over. Jacob, Fatu, and Tommy Tonga have defeated LA Knight and
Damian Priest.
What was the finish? I was lost in Johnny's
missed it.
eyes.
I kind of got lost too. Actually, I just saw moonsaults and that was it. Like, I think brawling just happened. That was it. Really.
Guess what? It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
It really doesn't matter who won that
Freaking
match.
It doesn't matter.
Because we are on the eve of WrestleMania, which means that we are on the road. No, we are on the eve of the Royal Rumble, which means we are on the road to WrestleMania.
The road to WrestleMania
Okay?
begins tonight.
I mean, whoever wins the Rumble, it's a big deal, and we'll know like who's going to be in the main event of WrestleMania. It really does seem like it's a foregone conclusion that it's Cena and Cody, though. Doesn't it? It kind of feels like, yeah.
I can see it being Gunther. Gunther's a quintessential Cena opponent.
Yeah.
Big, brawny, foreign guy.
Okay, play that out. Say it is Gunther.
Yeah, Gunther's like, John, you're tired. I'm the better wrestler. You're a old, beaten down man, and I'm gonna put you down. Your last WrestleMania will be full of shame.
Shame.
And Cena's like, no, I'm John Cena, America.
Yeah. America versus the evil German, which these days actually more relevant than it has been in many years.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Bring
Anyhow,
back the name Gunther Stark.
all right, let's not lean into it too much. Let's stay away.
Yeah.
Anyways, Gunther Cena makes a lot of sense. If we do Gunther Cena, say they're going there, Cody versus like a Roman Punk, maybe Roman Punk in a triple threat would be pretty
cool.
Cody versus Roman Punk in a triple threat and Cena picking Gunther would actually be pretty sweet. I wouldn't hate that at all.
I feel if it's Cena Gunther, then I think that the possibility of The Rock showing up tomorrow, which some people are speculating, I think that would happen if that's going to be the case. But I'm not thinking that's going to happen, though.
The Rock?
To be Cody's opponent instead of Cena?
Well, if Cena's going to wrestle Gunther, then I think The Rock is showing up tomorrow then.
Final boss. Is he winning the Rumble?
I would think he'd be number 30 or something, if he shows up, right?
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, my God. Well, apparently there's a lot of surprises they have planned. All sorts of people could be in the Rumble. You never know, which they always say, but they're really pushing it this year. Let me tell you who's definitely in the Rumble. LA Knight, John Cena, CM Punk, main event Jey Uso, Roman Reigns, Seth freaking Rollins, Drew McIntyre, Rey Mysterio, Samuel Zayn, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Penta, formerly Pentagon El Cero Miedo, Chad Gable, Braun Breaker, Carmelo Hayes, Damian Priest. That is 16 out of the 30 entrants, so 14 still mystery. Any cool surprises you might hope for? Debuts, returns? I would expect Randy Orton to return.
This feels right.
Anybody else?
Oof. Like for the men's, I'm not seeing a lot of return. Like I feel like last year was kind of the same thing too. Like I feel like they saved the big surprises for the women's and the men's. It was kind of filled. Like maybe you had like one or two. Like that's kind of nice. Like comeback, like Randy coming back or something like that. But you didn't get much in terms of like legends or anything like that. I heard maybe because they said Hacksaw Jim Duggan was around and he had eliminated Cody or something. Or he had a confrontation with Cody before that he wanted to go in the Rumble. That would be nice. Yeah, well, that's it too. Like, a little bit too much past this time, I think. Now at this point, it'd be nice if he showed up though, but as like a backstage in the crowd kind of thing, celebrity thing.
He was at the Saturday's main event, wasn't he?
I think Ted DiBiase was.
I feel like Hacksaw made a appearance and everyone ho.
Oh, possibly. I may have missed that.
I think it was at the Saturday's main event. Hacksaw was there.
I don't know who they might throw into the Rumble, like any kind of throwback guys that they could pop in there. Like, is there any chance Brock Lesnar's in the Rumble? How about that?
I think a Brock return wouldn't be for this, because then Brock would have to win the Rumble, right? Like, Brock's going to be a big splash kind of thing, so it won't be for this, I think.
Okay.
I could see an NXT person, like, I think it's Oma Femi? I think that's the big thing right now in NXT.
Right.
He's the big
Ula Fala, I think it's called.
Or Trick Williams is another guy that...
Sure. Something like that.
Yeah.
You said the name of the guy from NXT, and I said, Oofalafa. Yeah. What the hell are you talking about? Oofalafa? He's an NXT champion now? They just made the fucking chain the champion?
No, it's the guy.
Damn, son. Harold Schneider says, thanks for sticking with it. Thanks for sticking with us, Harold. Harold dropping a super chat. We had some major glitches before, but like everything seems to have fixed. It's crazy what happens when you reboot a modem. Dog, we should reboot the modem before every show, I think. Make sure we're not fucking bugging. Okay. We're doing the Royal Rumble preview show. It's fun, man. We're having a good time. Matthew Henley says Joe Hendry. God, I hope not. I feel like there's no... I I'm not.
Not to win.
Well, just to appear as like an appearance.
Yeah.
Like they are doing stuff with TNA, but like are the Hardys in TNA, Dolph
Yep.
Ziggler maybe in the Rumble.
Do they call him Dolph Ziggler or do they call him Nick Nemeth?
I would call him Dolph Ziggler. Do they have Zack Ryder in the Rumble?
Oh yeah, that's a good possibility. Apparently he was spotted, but obviously Chelsea's around, so of course he'd be spotted anyways, right? So
Yeah, but if he's around,
maybe I could see Hendry in it for sure, though. I mean, just for the reaction, they love the big pops. That'd be a big pop, I think, for sure.
That'd be a big pop.
Big Pop, yeah.
Oh, he's the TNA champion now, isn't he?
Big Papa
Yep.
Pump.
Oh, yes, that's right. I was about
No,
to say,
Scott-
hasn't his star kind of faded? Like, no, he's the champion. He's doing fine. Booking.
Big Papa
Scott
Pump?
Steiner.
No, Joe
Scott
Hendry.
Steiner can't be there. He's on a cruise right now. He's on the Jericho cruise.
Oh, nice.
Ooh.
Daniel Bryan? He's not under contract, is he?
You know what? Maybe Mark Henry. We've seen him appear a lot. I can see that.
Physically, though, I don't know.
I don't know either, but I mean, if he wants to try it,
No, for real. For real. Is Bryan Danielson under contract? What's the story?
I
Can he go?
think we're gonna see him at All In. Like he did that press conference. He's not gonna.
Well, he
go
did a
back on
press
that.
conference. Doesn't mean we're going to see him.
I think we're gonna see him at All In.
Nikki's talking about coming back. I could see Nikki in the Women's Rumble. I see Harold
Oh, yeah.
Schneider saying there's rumors of AJ Lee. I've been seeing those rumors too. I could see that.
I think if she wants it, they'll give it to her. I just don't know if she wants it.
Mm-hmm. Okay, before we get to the Women's Rumble, though, Men's Rumble, who are we picking? I'm going with John Cena. Unfortunately, won't be able to see him win because he's the Invisible Man. Who do you think is going to win? John Cena? Are you going with us? We're all picking John Cena to win the Royal Rumble. Is this going to be his, third Rumble win?
Yep.
Yeah, be his third.
Ooh, baby.
I'm
gonna.
Oh wait, Ben's going different.
I don't know. I don't know. Like I was telling you, if this is like Cena's last year, and they want to make it that like Hollywood story, he's got to have some adversity. I could see Cena having like a Daniel Bryan elimination, circa 2015, where he comes in number 11, fights off a few guys, eliminates a few guys. But like Jacob Fatu, when Cena's on the apron just hanging on, Jacob Fatu just clotheslines him out of nowhere. It's like, yeah! And there's a big shock, and Cena's out, and there's still like 15, 16 more guys to go. I could see that happening. And it's just like, oh. And the announcer's like, I guess it's not John Cena's night after all. And that's a bit of a storyline.
Cena's whole thing is like, can I still do it? Can I still do it? And if he just wins at the Rumble, it's like, yeah, I can. And then it's like, okay, well, now I wrestle Cody.
know.
Can I beat Cody?
But
It's
I'm
like,
trying to think of like the best alternative. I'm going to say Phil Brooks.
Punk is the best
I'm
alternative.
going to say Phil Brooks.
You're picking
He is
Punk
the
to win the
best.
Rumble.
Yeah.
I love it.
Solid number 2, I think. The thing is, I think this hides Cena the best, though, because you don't want to put Cena in matches where it exposes him too much. In the Rumble, it's easier to hide him. That's why I think, albeit, yes, it's an easy path for him in a sense, but it's the best way to showcase him in a big title match right away without exposing him a tough match like the Elimination Chamber would be.
That's true.
Betting odds, Johnny. John Cena right now, the betting favorite, -110. We're on the money, John.
Vegas, yes.
Seth Rollins, +175.
Wow,
CM Punk, +210.
that's insane.
Roman Reigns, +300. And then it gets a little crazy. The Rock, +1,200. Randy Orton, +2,500. Same odds going for Logan Paul and Jey Uso. Sami Zayn, who was my long shot pick at +3,300. I mean, at +3,300, if you can get it on a sports book, worth a shot. That's a
Yeah.
lot of money.
You got to bet $100.
$100 to get 3,300. You bet $10, you get $330 if Sami Zayn wins. I mean,
bad.
he's got a shot, John. Some
Next year.
Rumble. Triple H loves him.
Next year.
Loves
This
his
is
acting.
next year, I think.
Yeah.
Have a good chance.
Maybe next year in Saudi, he's got a very good chance. Drew McIntyre +5,000, Jacob Fatu +6,000, Braun Breaker +6,600. Big long shot. So yeah, Cena is the odds-on favorite to win Women's Rumble time. Only 11 of the 30 participants have been named. So
there'll be a lot of surprises, I think. Comebacks. That's okay.
That's great. I think it'll be a fun Rumble. I think it'll probably open the show as it normally does.
I mean, you think the men's is going to?
Or do they do... Sometimes they do
Sometimes
like
it's
back-to-back Rumbles?
Did they not do like a match, then a Rumble one time? I feel like they did that before.
Yeah, like match, Rumble type of thing?
Yeah, but I think we're going right to a Rumble,
Sometimes
I think.
the women's
'cause-
close the show.
Yeah.
Like Asuka, I think, when she
I
won.
think the men's Rumble is going to close the show.
Yeah, this year, yeah.
I think they'll probably open with... Like, honestly, I think they might open with Cody Roman, then do Women's Rumble,
Kevin.
then do that tag team match to totally kill the crowd, and then bring them back up for the men's Rumble.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not impossible, but I think start with the women's Rumble, because I think the ladder match can bring them back up no matter what, and then kill them with the men's afterwards, so that's fine.
But the thing is, John, the ladder match is going to bring them... I don't think they'll have a ton of energy for the ladder match if it's right after the women's Rumble that's going to be hot. A Rumble match is hot.
That's why they have the tag match, right? So that's why it'll be women's Rumble, I think. Women's Rumble, tag match, ladder match, then the men's. So I think it works like that.
Yeah, I feel like you open the show with the ladder match because it's going to be a cool, crazy match to start the show.
They could.
Then you do the women's Rumble to like keep it going. Like, okay, it's the Royal Rumble. You got the world title match. Now you're gonna get a Rumble, and people are like,
Charlotte
"Ooh."
Flair's #1.
Yeah, or something like that.
You know, it's like,
and then
let's go.
it's like, okay, this was awesome. Now here's a tag team match to kind of kill you and relax you, and kind of you go take a break, whatever. And then boom, men's Rumble, and then you go home happy. I think that's the way to do it. I would book it that way. We'll see how they do it, John. We'll see how they do it.
I don't think Charlotte's #1 though, but we'll see what happens.
No, I don't think so either. Here are the people that we know are going to be in it: Nia Jax, Bayley, Charlotte Flair. Charlotte Flair's officially in it?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they said that's their comeback, yeah.
Oh, yeah. Naomi, Bianca Belair, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Lyra Valkyria, Ivy Niles, Io Sky, and Chelsea Green. That's right.
I'm gonna say it right.
Ivy Niles.
Oh, no, Chelsea Green. You gotta say it in like the squeaky voice.
Chelsea Green.
Oh, the Chelsea.
I don't do that shit.
That's all you gotta say.
That's not how you gotta say it.
He doesn't like
I'm not a
Samantha
punk
Irvin.
bitch.
He's got heat with her.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think it's annoying.
I think it's
You
a
like that?
I think it's good for a character because it's different.
Oh,
You know,
I want to hit you so bad right now.
I think it works.
No, I hate
You missed
it.
the episode. He's got a history with Ricochet and Samantha. Long beef.
Long-standing beef. Me and Ricochet, we got major heat, brother. We don't at all. I like Ricochet. Okay. So, Charlotte Flair, you think is going to win the Rumble? That's not that fun.
I think it's a lock. Like, I think there's just no doubt about it. She's going, and I think it's her and Tiffany, I think, at WrestleMania.
I think you can get the Charlotte and Tiffany another way. There are many ways to get the Charlotte and Tiffany. I think we're getting to Rhea Ripley instead.
Against?
Well, Rhea needs a real challenger.
I got an idea.
I think. Well, you go ahead.
I think they're speaking of people from Impact.
Are you going to steal my idea? Oh.
Are you saying it's Jordan Grace?
No.
Oh.
What?
No.
I don't know. I think they're pretty
not
high
giving
on her.
They're not giving a TNA knockout the Rumble.
I think she's signing with WWE.
Yeah, she's signed with WWE.
She's not a TNA anymore. She left TNA.
That's true.
And and I think they want to establish her because they gave her a Rumble spot last year or 2 years ago.
I think
They're
last
not
year.
going to give her the Rumble win right off the bat.
She's
That's
pretty.
bananas.
I don't know. Her against Rhea, it's kind of like, she wins the Rumble and she's kind of shows how strong she is. I think it establishes her as like a threat to Rhea and a new star in the
That's interesting.
on Raw too.
That's interesting. It's a good pick, actually.
That's my pick.
I like it.
Interesting.
Debut, you win the Rumble.
Wow.
That's
I don't
like
hate
that's
I don't
your
hate
story
that at
right
all.
there.
Yeah. I'm
Triple H, he likes someone who's in like pretty good shape, you know. Oh, let me look at your traps.
He's kind of convincing me.
That's my pick.
I
She
like
might eliminate
it.
Charlotte.
I like Grace to win the Chamber, actually, because it shows how much of a monster she eliminates everybody in the Chamber. I think that's a better way for her, but I mean, that could work too with the Rumble.
I think Jade Cargill's got to come back in the Rumble, and like something's got to happen with Naomi and Bianca and Jade Cargill. I think Naomi finally shows who she is in the Rumble. Maybe eliminates Bianca or something. I thought Naomi might win the Rumble, but she's won already, hasn't she? Has she won yet?
Bianca won in 2021, no?
But Naomi's hasn't won one yet.
No.
She's made a return at the Rumble.
I could see Naomi winning.
Wow. Vegas doesn't like your odds on that one, I don't think.
Probably not. I don't know. There's something Naomi's like I feel like they're doing something with Naomi.
Sure, but not that. That's too much, I think.
Bianca and Rhea, to me, is still that match that you should be doing at WrestleMania. They just don't really have a path to it right now, unless they have Bianca win the Rumble again, which you could easily do because it's Bianca.
I agree, and I originally thought maybe Bianca to win it, but they've used her terribly in the last couple of weeks. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I don't see it either right now for Bianca. Just she's not on that path. She's still got the tag titles. Jade Cargill was attacked, and she's been missing, and there's no resolution there, and Naomi's her tag partner. It's like something is going on with all of that, and I think she's still involved in all of that, and winning the Rumble would be a completely different path that she's just not on right now. The Rumble's like a side quest to her main path, which is whatever's going on with the tag belts. You know what I mean?
The mystery.
Yeah. So I don't think Bianca wins. I don't think Naomi wins. Charlotte makes sense, but hasn't Charlotte won before?
Sure.
Just once, though, right?
Yeah, just once.
It was the time we thought Shayna Baszler was a lock to win it, and then Charlotte's like, nope, I'm winning. Or Vince was kind of like,
yeah, I'm never against Charlotte winning anything, and Charlotte versus Tiffy time is the match to do. You could do Charlotte Rhea 3 though, just as easily. Their third match at WrestleMania,
That's true.
And like honestly,
the last match was insane.
They're both matches that they've had at WrestleManias have been incredible. And, you know, Charlotte won the first one. Rhea won the last one. Charlotte can come back, win the Rumble, and be like, let's settle the score, Rhea Ripley. And like, damn, man, that's major. That's
interesting.
A big-ass match. That's honestly...
That's a main event.
It's bigger. That's main event. That's bigger than Charlotte and Tiffy. Like, Charlotte and Tiffy is like, Charlotte's coming back to what? Put Tiffy over? Or even worse, beat Tiffy? Like... Tiffy just won the belt. Like, I don't know. I think, honestly, Charlotte, if she wins the Rumble, I think it should be Charlotte and Rhea because that match is so massive. Rhea has never been bigger than she is right now. And you think about how long Charlotte's been gone and how big Rhea has become since Charlotte's been gone. For Charlotte to come back and challenge Rhea now would be like, whoa.
Was she called mommy even? Like,
I don't think so.
There was like
maybe. I don't think so. No, not when she last wrestled.
No.
But like Charlotte and Rhea, there are no two bigger stars in the WWE, like in that women's division. You know, like you couldn't do a bigger match. Tiffy is cool, but Charlotte is, you know, Rhea is so big right now. I can't imagine Rhea getting any bigger. And for Rhea to do some other match with, like, I mean, what are we even imagining for Rhea? If Charlotte's wrestling Tiffany, like, what does Rhea do? Like, Rhea should have a big-ass match. Becky Lynch? But hasn't that been done?
It has been done.
I don't need to see that again. How about Becky and Tiffy and Charlotte and Rhea?
That is an idea. I do like your idea of like Rhea against Bianca. Like we're not there yet, but we could get there eventually. It could happen.
Next year,
And
maybe.
maybe next year. And you know what? Like, you just throwing out there Rhea against like Jordan Grace, like that's not bad. Like that's really good, great way to establish someone right away. Bam, like a big match like that, WrestleMania. I like that.
Yeah, but that's WrestleMania. We're talking about like you want marquee, and you don't really get bigger marquee matches than Charlotte Flair versus Rhea Ripley 3, and you don't. And it says a lot about them, about their rivalry, that you could do a WrestleMania trilogy over several years between those two and have it make sense, and it kind of like the situation kind of demands it every time. Different stages of their careers. Like, it's, to me, it would be very compelling. I think I hope they go there. Because I don't know who would win either.
Yeah.
I think Charlotte might win.
I think Rhea would win.
Exactly.
It's very good, but I think the big issue is that it probably wouldn't be a main event of a night. And that was an issue, I think, the last time they wrestled. I remember Rick was like, had a huge problem about it. I don't know if Charlotte did so much or she wasn't vocal about it. Rick was very vocal about it. And I imagine that might be another issue again going into this year where we're already booking Punk in a main event, and obviously Cody has to be in a main event. So if they're in separate matches, that's going to ruin that idea. So that's why I don't know if you do Rhea versus Charlotte if you can't guarantee it's main event.
Cody and Cena can co-main event night 2 with Rhea and Charlotte going on last. As far as I'm concerned.
I see what you're saying. I don't see that happening.
No, I think Cena and Cody would go on last.
Yeah. I know, but I don't know if they should. Yeah, I don't know. But
it is debatable.
Yeah, it's a debate that you could definitely have. Charlotte and Tiffany would be a big match too. Just I don't think as big as Rhea. So yeah, Charlotte, a solid pick to win. I think we're going to see a lot of returns. Like Becky Lynch apparently has signed a new contract. They're promoting her, but she's not technically in the match. I think she'll be there. I think AJ Lee might be there. I don't know.
Victoria signed a Legends contract. So you can make some
maybe
bumps, make an appearance.
Michelle McCool's always hanging around.
Tori Wilson.
Maybe Tori Wilson. Maybe Trish Stratus. Lita.
Molly Holly's an agent in the back.
Some NXT peoples, and so on. The list goes on. Right, John? It could be anybody.
I think
Nikki Bella.
Yeah. Layla as well, I think, as well.
Oh, what? What?
Yeah. Layla?
Yeah.
Layla?
Layla L?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
You don't think so?
I mean...
Well, we haven't seen her in years.
I haven't heard anything about it. She's
that's
not in the business.
Though. And if Michelle's going to be in it, like Michelle's always usually in these Rumbles, not much happens, but that would add something if, you bring back
Laycool.
Exactly.
Well, Layla was a cut above. She was quite a diva. Matthew Henley saying Alexa Bliss. I could see that.
Yeah. Are the Iconics wrestling again?
That's an idea too, but apparently Bliss, apparently there's contract issues, so that's why we haven't seen her at all yet. So it might not happen.
Ooh. Wow.
She was never my favorite.
Alexa Bliss, I don't know. I mean, there's something there, but oh my God.
You said the
word.
word.
They didn't miss that.
Right, I forgot about that.
Didn't miss that. Bliss.
Yeah.
I don't know who could show up that I'd want to see, and I'd be like, wow, AJ Lee would be super cool. I think that would be the biggest pop that you could.
Stephanie would be cool.
Stephanie in the Rumble would be fun. Nikki Bella would be a big pop too. I'd like to see Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella, AJ Lee would be pretty major. Major Guns would be pretty good too.
That's not going to happen, I don't think. I could see a Lunch of Blaze,
Gorgeous
though.
George?
Medusa was at Saturday Night's main event.
CW.
Not the man, Gorgeous George. The Macho Man girlfriend, Gorgeous George?
Was this his real life girlfriend?
Yeah.
I think she lost the name, though. She's not.
Yeah, that makes sense. I'd like to see her in in the Rumble?
The
Miss Cat?
Kelly?
Miss Kitty? Whatever. Jerry Lawler's girlfriend there?
BB.
Yeah. Let's get some real, like, old school classics in the Rumble.
Bertha Faye.
Yeah. Let's get Eva Marie in the Rumble.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody likes a good Eva Marie reboot. Let's try and do that again.
Yeah.
Maybe she could have a face-off with Piper Niven. Reboot the whole
And say,
Dewdrop
like,
Eva Marie gimmick, you know?
Get a "This is awesome" chant going.
And then we could bring back Eva Marie for a run against Chelsea Green. How about that?
Mandy Rose. They brought back Mandy Rose. That'd be fantastic.
Ooh, Mandy Rose. There you go. There's a good one. How about ODB? Where's she at? Is she still in TNA?
Yeah.
No? Gail Kim? She could just
think
leave the Rumble.
Yeah. So, screw this. I'm out of here.
Oh, I got myself there. That was a good one. Pal.
So a lot of surprises tomorrow in the women's Rumble. That's what we got. Not so much the men's, more the women's. Well, that's what will make that Rumble fun, I guess.
Mm-hmm. I love a women's Rumble, brother. 30 women, over the top. No tops.
Just keep your tops on.
Keep the tops on. Take your tops off. Go over the top. Hachi Machi.
Just like Tiffany. Keep the top on. And the scars.
Oh, my God. Poor Tiffy time. What happened to Lacey Evans? Sharky wants to know.
Don't know.
They fire her?
I think so.
Pretty much, yeah.
Were there reasons?
I think it's just that gimmick. Remember, she was like supposed to be like a military hero, and then they started booing her because they asked everyone to stand
that
up
whole
for her.
thing.
Yeah.
It failed miserably.
It
And then
failed, yeah,
what? They
just-
just fired her off of that?
Yeah, they just got rid of her. Yeah. Well, you remember her matches too. Like they jobbed her out completely, so
Yeah.
they gave up on her.
There was
Fast.
something there. There was something there with Lacey Evans.
I don't
I
think
thought
you're
there was gonna
foaming.
be
I don't know
something.
Listen, you're foaming. What's going on with that?
I don't know. Apparently I'm foaming. I don't know what that
Yeah,
means.
you're rabid.
I'm rabid thinking about Lacey Evans, brother. I mean, she was... You know, there was like a thing I saw. Lacey Evans and Dana Brooke. Dana Brooke? She
Yeah.
was... Yeah.
She's been fired.
And Mandy Rose
Oh my goodness.
and Paige Van Zant were like all together doing like sexy things on the internet. And I was like, what is this job squad like of ladies just like showing their asses? I was like, what is this weird
Is it like
deal?
like an OnlyFans.
Yeah, something like that. It was like something on Instagram, and I was like, is that Dana Brooke? I was like, what's she doing with Paige Van Zandt? I was like, oh, I see what she's doing. They're just kind of like squeezing their boobs together. I was like, is that Lacey Evans? It was just a weird group. It was just like,
It's a job squad.
hey, you guys like wrestling and stuff. Look at us. We used to be in wrestling. Ooh, and I'm like,
Okay.
all right, fair enough.
Gotta keep making money. You know, there's no pension in wrestling.
I saw it. I was like, yeah. You know, I'm not paying for this, but I scrolled by my Instagram feed. I was like, interesting. It was a weird job squad, you know.
Yeah.
I wonder.
Wasn't Tony Storm?
I wonder what. No, she was not. I mean,
She had OnlyFans.
possibly, but she's still she's still wrestling, so she doesn't have to do that shit, brother.
Yeah.
She's timeless. Timeless, man. Tony Storm. Sharky says that all that stuff was leaked, apparently. My God, Sharky. Sharky's in depth. He knows what's going on. He's on the streets. He's under the covers. He's under the sheets. He's figuring out what's going on. He's in the dirt sheets. That's the real dirt sheets, brother.
Observe this, brother.
Exactly. Ha. What are we saying?
Rumbles.
I think we covered the Rumble, no? Haven't we? Except, I guess, that big tag match.
Well, I think
Wow.
Cody probably beats Kevin too, right?
Oh, I think that's a lock, too.
I want
Yeah.
Kevin
For
to
sure.
win.
Yeah, I'd like to see Kevin
The
win,
crowd
but
was popping for him.
they like him, but
Like, the momentum's on his side.
Cody's the chosen
The people
one.
demanded.
It's just how it is.
Like-
And yeah, there's a 2 out of 3 falls match for the WWE Tag Team titles, the DIY versus the Motor City Machine Guns. My only hope is that Pretty Deadly is somehow involved.
They said they wouldn't get involved.
Yeah, I know. But, like, maybe they lied.
You're hoping. You're really
yeah,
hoping
this
that.
match I don't want to see. I will skip.
Well, just to go back on the Kevin thing for a second. Just like I think they really kind of destroyed Kevin with the fact that on Saturday night's main event, he had the chance to give Shawn Michaels the package pile driver. Instead, he ends up eating a super kick
Yeah.
and laid him out. So that really shows you
Yeah, that's
like
bad.
could have gave him so much heat right there for taking out Shawn,
Yeah.
but no,
In San Antonio.
Yeah.
we got to put down Kevin instead because Shawn's got to have his moment. So that shows you where Kevin's on the totem pole, sadly.
Yeah.
Too bad.
I didn't love seeing him take the super kick from Shawn Michaels, but I understood it was in San Antonio and he was the heel and it was the thing to do. But I agree with you. If you're pushing him to the next level, that's not what you're doing.
You should take him down because it's in his hometown, because that will get true heat right there, and that
Yeah.
would really get him over.
Deny
more.
the fans.
But they're not trying to get him more over than he is.
So, yeah, sorry, not gonna be champion.
Yeah, I agree. Do you think the DIY something Motor City Machine Guns, who wins? I don't even know who's the tag champs at this point. They bounce them around. DIY are the champs.
DIY are the champs. It's 2 out of 3 falls, right? So I think Motor City Machine Guns get 1 fall at least, but I think DIY find a way to get out of this. They'll lose them at WrestleMania, not yet, I think.
Mm-hmm. And that's the Rumble. Triple H is going into the Hall of Fame. They announced that.
I mean,
Great.
it should happen.
I think they ran out of people to headline the class of the Hall of Fame, so they're like, who's around?
Well, I saw a lot of people were upset about this, saying, "Oh, it's all Triple H is pretty much the figurehead, and it's all about WWE is Triple H, so Triple H puts himself in, kind of thing." And like, I kind of get that anger about it, and how Triple H ruined wrestling for a lot of people. A lot of people stopped watching wrestling because of Triple H. I get that 100%. I lived it. I saw it for years, and like I understand that, but I think they have an idea of who they want in the Hall of Fame. And in terms of headliners, no one was a true headliner for who they had. So Triple H was the only one. So I kind of get that. If they didn't have like a main event top guy to be in it, I think it's all going to make sense when you see everyone else who's in it, I think, this year.
Yeah, I think so. I think he was just the biggest name that they had.
Yeah, The Rock's not doing it this year.
Yeah.
So.
Well, The Rock's already been inducted, hasn't he?
No,
I don't
no.
think. Not him.
Not yet. Huh.
Not him, no.
Well, it'll happen.
Yeah, just wait. I thought, because I thought we saw it last year because it was in LA. Did he do Batista last year?
I think Batista got cut because he was supposed to go in 1 year because of COVID. It didn't happen.
So it hasn't happened yet. Okay.
Well,
who was the headliner to last year? Taker was the year before.
I don't know. I lose track. But Triple H, whatever. It was a matter of time. He was going to go into the Hall of Fame. Didn't really register. Stephanie McMahon's got some sort of reality show, travel show. What the hell is that?
On ESPN, apparently.
What the hell is that?
Yeah, what's that deal?
Travel with Stephanie? Why? She trying to get away from Triple H? What's going on?
And it's to find like secrets of like WWE, like all this secret treasure or something. Like I don't understand whatsoever.
Indianapolis Jones.
Yeah, I don't
Is
know
it like
about
that A&E thing they used to do before, like WWE
Right.
Hidden Treasures? I think Stephanie's doing her own thing like that. I'm guessing. Like, I'm not looking forward to watching. I hope we're not reviewing that stuff. I don't want to really watch that stuff. So
No, I'm
let's
not
do
watching that.
No.
That sounds terrible.
Thank
Stephanie
goodness.
is not like a host. She's not somebody you want to watch like host a thing. Yuck.
I know you're a big fan, so
I like her,
surprised by
but
that.
not in that role. That's
Yeah.
not how
She's not Martha Stewart.
She's not like a TV host.
She's not Anthony Bourdain.
She's a great heel promo, She's a great wrestling heel. She's good at that. But as like a TV host, like traveling around, like what the hell is that?
Hi, I'm Stephanie McMahon.
That is not
Come join me.
not interesting. I don't want to see that at all.
Well, she probably won't talk about Vince, so,
Yeah, exactly. I only want to see her answer tough questions about her father.
Yeah.
I don't know what Stephanie can do, but not that. whatever. Somebody's paying her to do it, I guess, or
Disney.
Disaster. All right, John. Anything else happening? AEW, I guess.
Well, before we get to AEW, Dark Side of the Ring season 6 coming out. They released all the episode lists. I don't know if you caught that or not.
Yeah, I saw that.
Like, I was surprised the first episode apparently is going to be Hell in a Cell. Like, I was very surprised by that.
Just
like,
the match in general?
I guess all, like, the dark side, like, stories from, like, Hell in a Cell. Like, I can only really think of maybe, Mankind, Mick Foley almost dying. Besides that, like, what's really dark side of Hell in a Cell?
Didn't something happen in the Triple H Jericho match? Something kind of crazy? Or was that that Tim White? Tim White, eh?
Yeah.
Okay,
Tim
so that's
White.
not even one of the competitors. Because I
But
thought
they'll probably
Jericho could
mention
speak
that.
to it.
They'll mention that, yeah, because Jericho was in it. I can see that. And I think, didn't something happen? Another one as well, like, but it was kind of just like they screwed up the whole like Shawn and Triple H one where they were on top with the ladder and they just realized they couldn't do the spot, so they just fell and it looked like crap. But again, not really a dark side thing. Like in the end, the matches just weren't very exciting, and we lost Hell in a Cell for a while. Remember that Roman Reigns Braun Strowman? That kind of killed Hell in a Cell because of how bad that was, and that Seth
the
against
feed
Bray Wyatt
in the dark. Yeah,
you can talk about the garbage throwing on Seth. Like, that was hilarious. Hopefully that gets covered.
Wow.
Probably not. It's going to focus, I think, on Mick Foley and his match and maybe some of the other matches.
Yeah, he'll be the interview subject.
There'll be a lot of Foley. And then they're doing one on Vader, which...
More Foley.
I don't know. Just his story and
JR.
the fact that he died, I guess. Tony Atlas, which I don't really know what...
I wrestled Tony. I'm not
He's got a foot fetish. I mean, what else is going on? What's the dark side of the ring with him?
Well, I guess his like rocky relationship with the Rock's dad. Like,
maybe that. Maybe some other stuff we don't know about. Ludwig Borga.
Apparently he's
yes.
Oh, yeah. He was like a Nazi or something, right?
He had a tattoo of it on his calf.
Right.
Yeah.
Billy Jack Haynes. I don't know much about him.
He went crazy.
Okay.
Yeah, you'll find out. He went crazy.
Eddie Gilbert.
There's a lot of
I know the name.
Superstar Billy
ECW.
Graham. One on Superstar Billy Graham. Interesting.
Yep, there'll be
stories
Graham,
there.
like,
yeah,
a lot of stories there.
Yep.
About like
who knows? I mean, Daphne.
Oh, that's sad.
Well, remember Daphne? Like, she sadly killed herself.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a tough one. The original Sheik, Ed Farhat. That'll be a fun one, I think. Sabu probably get interviewed. Rob Van Dam, hopefully.
Be a little crazy, but yeah.
Yeah. And Muhammad Hassan will be the final episode of the season, which
he'll be probably.
Will be interesting. He, an Italian guy who played an Arab guy who was mad, and there was some terrorist stuff going on. It was an interesting time or an interesting gimmick.
The promos were used to like kind of cheerlead about the Iraq War,
Yeah.
I remember Scott Steiner being like, 9/11 was started by these Iraqis, and we're gonna finish it. Oh no, it was Chris Nowinski who's cutting a promo on, not Muhammad Hassan.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, there's a lot there with Muhammad Hassan. That'll be a fun episode. So yeah, Dark Side of the Ring season 6 coming. Johnny, AEW was freaking dead this week. Like,
you know what's weird? Like, I feel like they're pumping up Collision more than Dynamite.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what you thought. Last week's Collision, I thought was like, wow, this is actually pretty decent. Why was this not on Dynamite? The whole Tony Storm, like, coming back as Timeless Tony Storm should have been on Dynamite, but it was on Collision. I was like, wow.
Yep.
And JR was on half the show. I was like, the commentary is fantastic because JR's back.
Dynamite was just Moxley and his group causing havoc. They had 2 matches, and they just came out and did stuff. Claudio beat Jeff Jarrett, and Wheeler Yuta lost to Jay White. Yeah. There's just a lot of that, and not much of anything else.
I liked AR Fox against Ricochet. I thought that was a pretty good match. I was surprised by, and I thought Brian Cage against Will Ospreay, that was probably the match of the show. I thought Cage was very impressive in that match. I thought.
Yeah.
That suplex where he held him all the way across the ring like that. Like he walked all the way across. Like that was amazing. That's very difficult. Like catch him like that and then to walk with him like that. That's impressive. Very impressive.
I'm having a really hard time caring about Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega versus the Don Callis family, because the Don Callis family, they're just not compelling characters. They're not over.
No, 100%. No, you're right. You're right about that. They aren't over. And like, again, like it's weird. 1 week they could beat them up 2-on-4, but this week 4-on-2 they couldn't beat them up. I was like, that didn't really add up well. And now they said there's another member apparently. So wait and see what happens.
Of the Don Callis family?
Yeah, apparently there's another member. I don't maybe Trent Beretta's coming back possibly, but apparently another member is going to happen. I know you're loving it.
I am not. Are they? What are they doing on Collision tomorrow? Do they have something big to go up against the Rumble?
Well, Tony Storm's going to be on.
Tony Storm.
So Tony Storm's always fantastic.
That was the best thing that they did, man. Tony Storm, the thing last week where she became timeless and she said it was all a big act, and that promo was fantastic.
You came out of my womb, and I'm gonna put you back in there and spit you out.
Yeah. Because I'm Tony Storm and I'm going to tear your tits off. That shit was fucking crazy.
Her face sold it.
The reaction was incredible. Like,
oh my
wow.
God. Yeah. Well, of course, man. Tony Storm is magnetic, man. She's incredible. And Mariah May is so good, too. Her promo on Dynamite was really good. She's great.
Yeah, no, it was good.
So good.
I agree. That's what hurt though. Dynamite, the main event. Like, I know like you're somewhat of a fan of Yuka Sakazaki, but like, I thought her against Mercedes Moné, like, it just wasn't much there. Like, it wasn't a bad match, but like, I'm sorry, Yuka's not over. Like, she shouldn't be in the main event of Dynamite.
No, that made no sense. I don't know what the hell that was doing in the main event. That was ridiculous. It's not a main event you need to see. It's a match they put on and you're like, oh, okay, cool, I'm gonna turn off the show now. Dynamite's over. I don't care who wins. I know Mercedes isn't losing to this Sakazaki who's never on the show.
Yeah.
What the hell's the point of that? What a dumb booking decision. Do you want to get ratings, or are you just trying to drive people away from your show, Tony Khan? Unbelievable. The fact that he would put that in the main event just shows how inept he is at booking. Motherfucker, put Ospreay in the main event, you dumb, skinny bitch.
It's funny. When I met one of our fans, Patrick, who's been commenting today on the show as well, that he prefers actually watching AEW more than WWE, and he agrees with a lot of what you say, Dave, actually. And like, he feels like it's just really the booking that's the problem right now in AEW.
Yeah.
That the whole Jon Moxley storyline, that's what's really bringing it down. Like, the wrestling's fine. It's just that whole storyline is what's killing it. That's what he found. I thought it was interesting that he said a lot of what you said. Like, he feels a lot of the same ways you feel. So that was interesting.
Well, he's a smart guy. That's why he watches Wrestling Uncensored. He gets it. Our audience is very smart. They understand pro wrestling, and they see the problems on the shows. And, like, Moxley, he's got this reputation within AEW that he's like saved AEW. He held the belt when he didn't have a contract, and he's been there for the company in tough spots. But he's killing the company right now. Him and his whole group, doing whatever the hell they want, and you can tell he's writing all this stuff, and like, this is all him. This is all him. This is all his idea. He's been given the ball to run with, and it's awful. And he's driving the audience away. He is driving hardcore AEW fans away. That is, and then he goes on TV and he goes, I'm the champion, and I'm what a champion is, and you don't deserve to see a champion, and what do you know about a champion? And you go, dude, you're so boring.
Yeah.
You're killing this company. And he's just arrogantly on top talking about how he's the king and this and that. And you go, oof.
It's like a Triple H promo.
Yeah, it's and he's got the goons, and it's just boring, pointless nonsense. Jeff Jarrett is chasing him, and Edge is chasing him, and you just, like, when Edge and FTR show up to go after them, I'm just like, yeah, all right. Whatever. What's MJF doing? What's Hangman doing? What's Swerve doing? Like, I'm way more interested in Swerve and Ricochet and what they're going to do next week on Dynamite than I am in Moxley and Edge and whenever they wrestle for the world title. I don't give a shit about what they're going to do. They're not interesting. They're not over right now. Swerve is over. Hangman's over. MJF is over. Tony Storm is over. Mariah May is over. Give me them. Stop with this John Moxley bullshit. And Wheeler Yuta matches.
And Marina Shafir.
Claudio promos. I mean, Marina Shafir is just there. She doesn't do anything, so it's fine. Her role is fine. She's just Moxley's backup. Whatever. But everything, and they're on the whole show. And I'm talking to people that like AEW, and they're like, man, AEW sucks lately with all this Moxley stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I know. I also don't like it. I don't know anyone who does.
It's booked like the NWO, but like these are not the same personalities.
Uh-huh.
Instead of having, like Hogan, Hall, and Nash would kind of be throughout the whole show.
Moxley's no Hogan.
Yeah.
People can talk shit about Hogan all they want, but fucking, Hogan never played in front of 3,000 people in the peak of his wrestling career. In Hogan's wrestling prime, he wasn't working in front of 3,000 people in his hometown. World title. In his hometown. 3,000 people. If that.
Yeah.
Maybe 1,500.
It's a
small ass building. Cincinnati, Ohio. It's not like he's from some small town that doesn't have a baseball team or something where they can fit. They have sports fans. They can fit people in arenas. AEW goes there. It's like 1,500 people in a small little club. They're doing TV from there. They're doing a Maximum Carnage show in Cincinnati. It's Moxley's hometown. He's on top, and he's drawing 1,500 people. And he's going to go and tell the world a couple weeks later that they don't know what World Championship is, and he's a champion. And you don't know what a world champion is. A world champion? Ask Ric Flair what a world champion is. He's supposed to draw a house.
That's where I made all that money, Ric Flair, to get all those crocodile shoes.
Why do you think they paid Ric Flair enough money so he could buy all that shit? Because he was worth the money because he sold tickets. That's what a world champion is. I don't know what Moxley thinks it is, but it's not a guy cutting belligerent promos to his wife on TV. Because that's what I saw this week on Dynamite, and it was not great. Not great. And I think what really upsets me about this whole thing is that this was created and started and given its big, pop at the expense of Bryan Danielson's fucking retirement.
And we knew this would happen. We called it the night out.
The greatest wrestler of all time's retirement should have been a celebration, but instead they put a plastic bag over his head because violence. Fucking idiot. Stupid fucking moron Moxley. And that's what pisses me off. Yeah. Is that they fucked the ending of Bryan so they could do this, and this is going to be the thing. And then and then I said it. The thing is gonna suck.
Yeah, we knew
and
it.
now the thing is sucking so hard. It's very bad. It's very bad. Also, something else is bad in AEW. Excalibur, at one point, is talking about MJF and Jeff Jarrett. Okay? And Excalibur goes, oh, MJF, he's a one-time world champion. Jeff Jarrett is a multiple-time world champion, so MJF should really... And I'm like, Excalibur, you stupid masked fucking moron. MJF is an AEW world champion. Jeff Jarrett has never been the AEW world champion. You talk about multiple-time world champion? Fucking where? In WCW at the end when it was a dead company? In TNA when he owned the company? What the fuck, man? You're on AEW TV. You're supposed to be the lead announcer of AEW. And you are putting over the TNA world title, the WCW world title, over the AEW world title.
It's really bad.
Oh, MJF, only one-time world champion, but Jeff Jarrett, multiple time. You stupid motherfucker. If he was WWF champion, maybe you could be like, make an argument and say, okay, because that title actually does mean something. If you were talking about Edge, and you're like, well, MJF, only one-time champion, but, Edge.
One of those decorated men in this business.
Multiple-time world champion.
All over the world.
And you could go, yeah, correct. That's fair. That's a fair statement. But don't fucking say it about Jeff Jarrett, because it's stupid. Because people who know, like Excalibur, you mark-ass, he's a mark for this dumb shit. He's like one of these sideline bitches that wants to fucking be a mark for the sideshow. He's like TNA, that's where the real wrestling was. WWE, whatever.
The X Division changed everything.
Fucking indie mentality, fucking wrong when you're trying to do big-time TV.
You know who's a big star?
Fucking
Elix
idiot.
Skipper.
Fucking idiot. When I heard him say that shit, I was like, you fucking don't have the right mindset to do the job that you're in. Go back to the fucking indies. You're supposed to be in prime time. You're not prime time. You don't have a prime time mentality because you think Jeff Jarrett is more decorated than MJF. A million TNA world titles don't account for one AEW world title, especially in AEW. Put the company you're in over everything else, especially TNA or WCW. Maybe WWE you could get away with it because legitimately they are the number one. But fucking TNA, Jeff Jarrett is more decorated than MJF. When I heard him say that, I fucking was like, you fucking idiot. Holy shit, Excalibur is stupid. Garbage announcer. Garbage. Oh, like what is?
Yeah.
And Tony Khan is just like, it's fine. Like he probably wasn't even reprimanded for that.
Yeah, probably didn't. Like Vince would get in your ear and be like, "What the fuck are you saying? You're ruining my show."
Could you imagine?
Oh my God.
Could you imagine?
Oh. Even probably Triple H would probably get into the mic and be like, "What the fuck? What are you doing?"
Could you imagine that? Yeah. Could you imagine somebody saying that in the WWE?
Yeah. Like, they put over the NWA Championship, but they didn't put over the WWF Championship.
They would, yeah, well, that's it, but they would.
They would say, oh, it's cool, but it's not like ours. Ours is the real deal.
Ours is the one that means something.
Because you're watching our show. Wow. That's like 101 of any show, you know?
Basic.
That's like someone on the NFL going, hey, this guy won in the Arena Football League. That's more than a Super Bowl,
Indie mentality, man. Fucking nonsense. Well, he won the AAA title, and that's really hard. Not many Americans have won that, and actually, it's like, not many Americans tried. Yeah. Because they're trying to win titles in the WWF, and Jeff Jarrett didn't win shit there. Intercontinental champion, brother.
Tag champ,
maybe.
D'Lo Brown and Owen Hart.
Tag champ with Owen, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And D'Lo.
Tag champ with Owen.
D'Lo and Jarrett was a force.
He's gonna push that forever. Anyways, that pissed me off, John, as you can tell.
Well. Again, this is why JR, I think Shivani and Nigel, that was fantastic. I don't know if you caught when JR was talking about Okada and the great matches that he had, but didn't want to mention Nakamura. And he's like, "Oh, Okada and the guy that kind of looked like the guy from Queen, Mercury something." Like, I think he's dead. But then he says, "I think he's dead now." I'm like, they're like, "Oh, well, God rest his soul." They say that about him.
It's Nakamura.
But that's it. Nakamura's not dead. He's just like the Queen guy. Obviously, the Queen guy's dead.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Mercury's.
That was hilarious. The way
Yeah.
they tiptoed around that.
Well, that's a much better team. It's a much better team.
Oh, it's fantastic.
I like Taz. I think Excalibur
Yeah,
is
Taz
just-
is terrific.
I like Taz, yeah.
I digress.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, Excalibur's dog shit.
All right, John, when's your next match?
Before we get to that, can we talk about May 10th? Because I think you're going to want to come to that, right? That I posted that? May 10th? You should write it down in your
May
calendar, May
19th.
10th.
What's May 10th?
May 10th. We're going to the Kane thing. Don't worry about Kane, whatever. May 10th, in pretty much your backyard, I have a big wrestling show that's going to go down. Pandemonium 3, it's called. Presented by Torch Chamber at the Paradox Theater. You've been there before. You should go there again. It's going to be a huge show. Looking forward to it.
Maybe.
Maybe. Why maybe? May 10th.
You didn't hear the rumors?
On.
May
What
10th.
rumors?
May 10th, UFC
What?
315, Bell Center.
Oh, what?
Really?
That's the rumor.
Sounds like you're believing, you're wishing here.
It's been a while.
Like,
they've been
this is the
back.
last
It's
time.
been a
yeah.
while. They haven't announced shit, and it's like, I don't know. We might find out tomorrow, honestly. But I'll let you know if I'm available. I may be
Okay.
at the UFC.
Well, if you're there, I understand. But yeah, if it doesn't work out, like if it's in Toronto, I don't think you're going to Toronto for
No.
UFC. Yeah, I
No.
didn't think so. So
No.
wait and see.
But if it's here, I might go.
Well, yeah. I mean, you should because, like, man, it's been so. You were at the last one, if I'm not mistaken. No.
Yeah. It's been a long time.
What was it last?
So, yeah.
UFC?
Demetrius Johnson, Kyoji
Oh my
Horiguchi.
God, I was at that show.
Yeah, I know. It's a long ass time ago. Last UFC was
And
a long time ago.
Maldonado,
And Rampage.
Rampage. Jesus.
Yeah, the UFC hasn't been here in so long. The last time they were here, Rampage Jackson was a co-main event. Rampage has not fought in a while.
Long.
He's been retired. So, yeah. Okay, so May 10th you have a big show, but when's the next one in the nearest future?
So February 15th, I will be in Sudbury, Ontario for Project X Wrestling. And you can check out the details for that because my match has changed now. It's not going to be the same match. I haven't announced it yet, but I will still be wrestling, different opponent. And check that out, Project X Wrestling, ProjectXTix.com for tickets.
There you go. Well, we made it. We survived.
Right.
We did the damn thing. The Royal Rumble preview show here on the Ringside Report Network. I want to thank all the members for sticking with us here tonight on the live show, which was a bit of a jumble. Angelo Contagonis, Jason Pete, Harold Schneider dropping the super chat, Doug Hepburn dropping the super chat as well. Thank you to everybody supporting tonight. I saw CSL Lorne. I saw Ray Cruz. All the members checking in over at join.ringsidereport.net and membership.ringsidereport.net. Appreciate you sticking with us tonight through the bumpy affair. We will be back tomorrow, and everything will be running smooth. We'll be back tomorrow. Tomorrow.
The Rumble.
Yeah, after the Rumble.
I'm ready to Rumble.
Okay, we'll tell you who wins the Rumble and what to expect going forward and what we thought about the Rumble, match of the night, wrestler of the week, and so on. It's February. Welcome.
Yeah.
God bless. All right, thank you, everybody. And we'll see you tomorrow night after the Royal Rumble.